Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Doreen. I gotta say it. So I'm making a video a little early, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say what's been going on. So I was gonna actually call this morning. I did call this morning, inspection office, and was going to cancel my inspection. But then as I was on the phone with the lady, I said, no, actually, never mind. I'm gonna go ahead and let Bobby or Stanley or whoever's coming out here, let them come on out here, because I felt confident, even though we needed to do a few things for my engineer. I really felt confident enough to let Bobby come on out. And I figured, well, I'd probably fail, but worst case scenario, you would just re-inspect. So I got out there in the house and I thought, well, they're probably not going to show up until later this afternoon anyhow. Guess who was first on the books? Me. So I see a white truck pull up. I'm like, oh man. Anyhow, and so, but it ended up pretty good, actually. I passed in this sense. Now, when I say I passed in that, Bobby told me, Dream, I don't need to come back before you do your installation, and I'm scheduled for my installation on Tuesday, so that works. I do need to put some fire blocks up in the back rooms back there in the loft area, which is nothing more than 2x6 that's flush with the floor. That way, in case there's a fire, that it doesn't go above that. And that was one of the things. So that's not a big deal. I can get that done before before Tuesday. And he doesn't need to see that. I mean, other than I could probably take a picture and send it to him. And then, my friend Dennis, who is actually a general contractor, and does this for a living, okay, has in somewhat of a way had my back the whole time, but he knows that I'm learning and that I'm eager to learn, and I'm a hard worker and I'm out there doing it. Matter of fact, he asked me yesterday, he's like, are you the one that's on the lift doing, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he asked me, are you the one that's out? I was like, yeah, I'm on the lift hanging, doing these strings. But so long story short, so he kind of came up with this idea to get with my engineer where, my engineer has moved to South Carolina. And I think that was kind of part of the hiccup there with him. And so, Dennis came up with this idea of doing a live video, a telephone live video, with, my engineer, and go around and show him, because what you see on paper isn't what you see when you go in. And to further, show my trusses. I know at first everybody was, my trusses aren't doing anything, but for me, I'm sorry, but steel is strong. Okay. And they're bolted together. They're bolted through the 6x6s and everywhere. And, on my 2 lean 2s, they're it's like 2 shoulders, and they're 4 foot in concrete. And, and I'm not a carpenter. I'm not an engineer. I'm not saying that I've done a lot. I haven't, but I just felt that they were strong enough to do what they were supposed to be doing, or what I thought they were supposed to be doing. And, and I know that, there's a calculation and all that stuff. And so, I feel good about the video that Dennis did and showed, my engineer everything. And, being that I'm new, okay, at a lot of these things, I cannot demonstrate to my engineer, whereas, Dennis has been doing this for, a good while. I mean, so 20 years, I don't know, 20 some years, I don't know how long. But, so there was that communication gap. And, but I get the idea. I understand. So I was there when Dennis was doing the video, just so I could learn and understand what he was explaining. So, Bobby was like this, my inspector. So he said, look, Doreen, either I need a stamp from your engineer saying these things, because I showed Bobby that I ran the string, everything was measured correctly all the way down, a continuous measurement from my rafter on down, when I did my plumb bob yesterday, and then, did a vertical and a horizontal on the other wall, and they all measured, the same measurement. So if there was a buckle, or, there's, I guess, that hinge point, there was no evidence of, my wall, buckling in or whatever. So anyway, so I had showed Bobby that, and he said, well, you know, either need an engineered stamp or you'll have to do, you know, the collar ties, which the trusses have a collar tie, but, you know, by code, you need to have a collar tie, I think, what, every 4 rafters or so. And I would be willing to do that. I'd probably do metal. I probably wouldn't do wood. I would do metal just so that it matches my trusses, and I would leave those exposed. So as long as my engineer stamps, and by what he said at the end of the conversation with Dennis, I think that, you know, I think that he'll okay it. I hope, you know, because I didn't want any flat ceiling. I wanted a vaulted ceiling. I think it'll look good, but I also want my house to be strong. So, you know, it's not like I'm trying to get away with something, just make it look good, but I want it to be efficient, strong. You know, I'm not building something crappy. I'm wanting something that's sturdy and looks good too. Okay. And, so anyhow, but I have learned a lot. Woo, I tell you, but everything else passed. So I am in the clear to go ahead and go with my installation. And as long as Clarence, my carpenter, can put those fire blocks up, I'm good. And everything else looked good. Jerome's, you know, putting the last few little things up. Of course, I know there has to be a light over the front door, which he's got the wire there. He's just got to drill the hole through there. That's code. Bobby also, you know, measured my window. You know, he did the whole 9 yards. But, you know, he wasn't there long, you know, because he'd been there once before. And so anyhow, I'm just pleased. I'm happy. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful, you know, for Dennis. I owe him, you know, I do. And but you know, but I'm grateful for him to also be willing to talk to me and teach me, and he knows what I'm, you know, trying to get accomplished. So I appreciate all that. So anywho, so yeah, I'm just happy. I'm thankful. So I'm gonna go and get myself some floodlights from Lowe's for Jerome, and I gotta mow more grass, and but yeah, so I'm super grateful. I will let everybody know what exactly my engineer says just as soon as I can. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm heading her on down the road. Anyways, y'all have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.